Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Burton Ballers, and you know what? I'm not even annoyed. I'm just resigned to the fact that we've now become average. So welcome to the match review of Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1.
Welcome to the Burton Ballers. Ain't got no time for no stallers, yeah.
We are the risers, we're not the fallers. Our channel is growing wider and taller.
Yeah, we're here to give you the news about your dear beloved Blues, yeah.
So if you like this YouTube channel, like, subscribe and turn on that bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I did get right was that we were going to lose 1-0, hoping that it wasn't right. But yeah, this Arsenal side are miles ahead of us at the moment, miles. And it's quite weird because a couple of seasons ago, we were way ahead of this. I wouldn't say way ahead, but we were ahead of this Arsenal team. And in one season, the turnover has been dramatic, you know, because they just look like a team who can challenge for the league. We look like a team a mid-table team who's going to be lucky to get top 4. And I like to say, I'm not being a defeatist, but if we don't make top 4, I'd prefer us not to make Europe altogether. You know, I wouldn't want to play in the Europa League, and I wouldn't even want to play in that stupid Conference League or whatever it's called, because what we need, probably what was good for Arsenal last season and what would probably be good for us this season, is no European distraction whatsoever, so that Graham Potter can get these guys to come and play week in, week out, understand his style of football and start to play as a team. Because at the moment, what we saw today out there was Arsenal playing as a team. Every single player knew the role that they had to play. They knew where to be for every pass. They defended well as a unit. In midfield, they were strong. Even the attacking patterns were decent. Not that great in the first half, to be fair, but you could see that they've got that synergy, the energy. It helps with Arsenal, to be fair, because they have had 9 first teamers playing week in, week out, so they can get used to each other. They have been fortunate with injuries at the moment. They've had no big injuries to any of their main players. With us, we've had a few players out, but even still, I'm not using that as an excuse, because even with our first 11 out, we still have a bunch of individuals who just don't know how to play as well as a unit. You know, it just showed, because every time they had the ball, instinctively, they knew where to pass it to really quickly. With us, we're pondering on the ball, we're taking too long. And that's because a lot of the times it wasn't, sometimes we could blame the player on the ball for holding on to it too long, but most of the time there was no movement. There's no movement in front of the player, in front of the guy in possession. So what can he do? You know, he had no choice sometimes. And that's where their goal came from, actually, because it was Thiago Silva was caught in possession. But the reason he was caught in possession is because there was no one moving for him. You know, they got a guy in Jesus who can press well, came out, pressed the ball, won it. And then they, from that resulting corner, which was shocking from our part, from Havertz, from even Silva himself, was it Mount, Cheek, 4 players missed the ball. The ball wasn't even in the air, it was on the floor. We had 3 or 4 players missing it. Basics, you know. And the thing is, I said we are going to come in with a low block today, not playing a high press, which we did. We played a low to mid block. But the thing is, as you know, as superior as Arsenal were for us, they didn't really create any big clear-cut chances. And the fact is that we gave away that goal. You know, they didn't even have to earn that goal with sloppy defending. That makes it even more disappointing, because even, okay, we came away with a 0-0 draw, I can still say Arsenal are a lot better than us, but at least we could have scraped a point. But we just give away too many soft goals as well, and that's something that needs to be addressed. But what we saw, especially when we got the ball, there's nobody moving, nobody doing anything in possession, and that can only be done on a training field week in, week out. And you know, let's be honest, are we finishing top 4? No, there's a few teams better than us. Newcastle have proved, again, that's what I'm saying, these teams, when you buy the right players, you can, you know, Newcastle are a team who look like a team, and they've only, their manager's only been there for a season, and not even a full season, and they look like a team. Again, no Europe for Newcastle, so he can play, he can practice his playing style with them and training week in, week out, and then you see the benefits of that. You know, I'm not having a go at Potter. I know a lot of people are having a go at Potter at the moment and bearing their frustrations out on him, but you know, these guys are just emotional people who don't really know the game, and that, you know, they don't understand what it means to sort of implement your playing style on the pitch. So it's been hard for him, you know, injuries, and also the fact that we've been playing a game every 3 days. He hasn't been had a chance to really stamp his authority on this side at the moment. But he could do better in team selections, though. That's what I'm saying. I said it again today. Team selection, I thought, was wrong. You know, we got energy players. Arsenal play very energetic, high press. Today, what you saw with when we looked better in the last 15 minutes. Why? Because we had players there willing to run, willing to fight. We had no fight before. Havertz, I'm sorry, he did okay to a point, but decision making was poor. Twice, you know, one time he could have done a pullback. What's he doing? Crossing the ball. Another time he took a shot. Another time he could have crossed it again. We had Aubameyang in there. We had Sterling in there. It's poor decision making. Mason Mount, not today. He was so slow, lethargic. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I don't know. He was the invisible man today. Didn't see him. What was he doing? He wasn't, you know, it wasn't the right selection, I don't think. We needed, as I said, a bit of energy in there. And Zakaria, today, you know, okay, it was a match against Zagreb, but I would have even put him on the second half, because I think that he could have done a lot better, you know, given us a little bit of control and physicality in that midfield. For some reason, yeah, he didn't want to put him on. So, yeah. And the last points I want to make as to why we've fallen so far back to the rest of the teams is that we know our buy-in has just been sporadic. We haven't done looked at players and said, you know, how would they fit into our team? Maybe that's because we obviously are different managers with different identities. But what Arsenal, you know, with the lessons we can learn from Arsenal now, they needed a centre back. They were weak at the back. What they do, they brought in the goal scorer today, Gabriel, and Saliba. They identify Saliba. He looks like a Rolls Royce of a defender today. He was superb, and from all accounts, he's been playing like that all season. And then they needed a holding player. Partey was available. We were crying out for a holding player. Arsenal bought him. Had it been a straight battle between Arsenal and Chelsea, where Arsenal were at and where Chelsea were at, he would have come to Chelsea. There were some rumours about him waiting to see if Chelsea wanted to come in for him before deciding to join Arsenal. I'm not sure how true those were, but that was a noise coming out. But yeah, we neglected signings, Partey, and you know, it's obvious that we needed strength in that midfield. They needed an attacker. They went out and bought the right profile in Gabriel Jesus. With us now, we bought Havertz without a plan. So where does he fit into our team? You know, what role does he play? You know, we've brought in Ziyech. You can't even get us into the side at the moment. And we've bought Pulisic, again, somebody who we're not playing to these players' strengths. So we bought these guys and they don't fit. And that's the thing. So it's about identifying players who can fit a role that's lacking in the side. What's lacking in the side is strength and mobility in the middle of the park, and that's never been addressed. A wing back to replace Reece James when he's unfit, that's never been replaced. That's what I'm saying. So when we have our first 11, when it's weakened, we've got nothing to come in and take over. So for me, that's just poor planning, and that's what we're left with now. We're just left with a mishmash of players who just don't fit together, and you have got no synergy. You can't play together as a unit. And the other thing, what Arsenal did, they made some tough decisions. You know, they got rid of Lacazette. They don't keep their deadwood players. Lacazette went, Aubameyang went. Okay, you know, Man City do the same things. You know, they get rid of players and refresh. We still keep the likes of the Azpilicueta. For what? Why are we keeping these players? We haven't refreshed our midfield for 3 seasons, and so that's what you get. You know, and it's going to catch up with you in the end. It's caught up with us now, and now we're looking at an average side. We're looking at that's to end this point, you know, because obviously we're playing Arsenal. We are old Arsenal, what Arsenal used to be 3 years ago. That's what we are now. So we're going to become the laughing stock where people can laugh at us. And Arsenal are the old Chelsea, and the old Chelsea under Mourinho Mark II, when, you know, one season we finished second, third, I think, and the next season we won the league. So that's it. We've kind of turned. We've swapped places now, and that is it. Those are the facts, guys. We've just got to live with it. And you know, I'm hoping that this board now can come in and just identify the right players. No scattergun approach, because even this window felt a bit like scattergun approach. I don't want no scattergun approach. I want targeted players who can fit into the system, players who can come in and know how to work in this Potter system, and let's see what happens. So that's what we need to do. Otherwise we're just going to be having this same conversation next season and the season after that. So guys, yeah, that's it. Not pretty, but as I said, I'm not even disappointed, because I just knew the outcome of today. And today it just showed up all our faults, everything about us. And you know, it reminded me of when we used to toy with Arsenal, when we had the likes of Drogba and SCN and Lampard, Terry. That's how it reminded me of. You know, we used to toy with them, but now they were toying with us today. You know, they were in control of the game. In every situation, they're in control. We just looked like a lost team. We just didn't know where we were going, with no direction. And you know, things have got to change, guys, because it's gonna stay ugly. And you know, it's gonna, you know, we just gotta be realistic and say, you know, we're just not good enough. So guys, that's the end of my match review. I know it's a bit negative, but you know, I'm realistic. I haven't got no blue tinted glasses on. I'm just preaching as it is. And so don't forget to like. Probably there's nothing to like about, but still, to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications so you'll be notified every time I make a new video. Until then, guys, take care. Bye bye.